versus Sarah Schermerhorn and Kimberly Hildreth. And I'm here, my name is Randy Stokos. I'm here with Jeff Alzina. Jeff, what do you think about this teams?
Well, this should be an interesting matchup. We had a big upset in the first round with Hildreth and Schermerhorn giving a beating to the foreign players and coming out ready to do it in round 2 in the winner's bracket here. First serve goes deep to Antonelli. She uses her standard line wrist away shot. Picked up by Hildreth and feasted down the line. First point on the board.
Yeah, that's not a great start for the Brazilians, but you know, they've been the #1 team in 2018, Carolina Salgado and Maria Antonelli. And if they've been there, they'll smooth out here. Let's see the next play by Maria. Maria goes back to the line, and they're both almost blocking line, digging line. What do you think about that, Jeff?
Yes, I think they must have got a scouting report because Maria Antonelli, throughout her career, has been so strong on the right side at hitting that line that one person can't always take it. You got to block it, and you got to get somebody ready to run down the line shot over the block.
Maria attacking down the line. And here's an opportunity for Maria. She puts it up on one, Salgado. Twin sisters, and there's an opportunity on the outside. They're all broken up. The ball joggled off the net with that dig, and Salgado couldn't handle it, and needless to say, Maria couldn't handle it. Point goes to the Florida girls.
Sarah back to serve. Looks like she's got a little jump float lined up. Good one down the middle. Salgado over angle, picked up by Hildreth.
Got a big break by the missed touch on the long shot right there. Salgado almost got her wheels going a little late on her approach right there. Like, you know, I gotta show you, I gotta show you, I gotta show you. But she was able to go and get the point on the mistake, and Salgado back to serve. Serving cross court to Sarah. Sarah chopping that ball down the line, just trickling it off the net down the line. And this is going to be a seesaw battle, don't you think?
It could be. These girls are very good side-out players. They play a lot on the NVL. They played a couple of their first AVPs this summer. I had a brief talk with them before the match. Kim said she was a setter. The right side player here, number 2, was a setter at University of North Florida. And Sarah played at Elon in North Carolina. She was a middle hitter. That's why she's probably on the left side right there.
And she's probably liking to play with a setter. It's always better to get a good set, and especially somebody that really has control, ball control with their hands. There's a ball that gets hit down the line. I thought it went off the block.
I did too.
There's no call. They're arguing it. You will see the replay right here. Jeff, on the left-hand side, all of a sudden the pass goes to the middle of the court, gets to the good set. Here's a chop down the line. We can't see it all that well, but
tough
sure
angle.
look like, you know, you can see the demeanor of the players and when it happens and when it doesn't.
Right,
really,
right.
Truly, it's a sign.
We both thought we saw it too, so that's interesting that the line judge, she's looking right into the sun, to be honest. She's looking dead west into the setting sun, and she may not have had a good view from the baseline. Kim with a step out on the right, rips down the middle. After our first side switch, they tie it up.
Yeah, good pass by Kimberly Hildreth from the right side. Sarah Schermerhorn back to serve out of the middle. Let's see what she does and what kind of pressure she puts on and who she's going after. She goes after Maria. Maria doesn't pass the ball all the way to the net. Ball gets chopped cross court. Now, what do you do about a situation like she wants to hit the ball down the line, down the line, down the line, and then all of a sudden she goes to the cross court cut? How do you play a player like that?
I think that's why she ended up this season's FIVB world #1 team, right? She's got everything in the bag. She's got so much line that you have to honor it, and then she'll do that. She'll cut it back down cross court. So I think you just got to roll the dice sometimes and take your chances. Like you said, she didn't push that pass all the way to the net, so maybe the blocker can peel away off and become a digger and let Kim slide over into the sharp angle and pick that up.
I like Kimberly grabbing some sand, looking exactly where she wants to go and serve this ball, thinking about the wind. She goes to Maria on the right side. She's looking like she's attacking. And there's that line hit again. Very difficult. Kimberly's just standing there, doesn't make that dig, but it's a tough one to dig.
That's some good heat. Little line seam. As you mentioned, Kim was checking the wind before. We've had a lot of different wind here today.
We sure have. It's come from the left, come to the right, come to the center.
Yeah, down at the beach, usually we have the wind coming off the ocean 95% of the time.
That's what I called with St. John earlier in the earlier matches. Like, you don't really, you know, if you go to a natural beach or where there's a body of water, you can see exactly where the wind's coming from, and even if it changes, you can see where it's coming from. Here, we're next to a stadium, the ball's swirling a little bit, and there's definitely, it's been an effective in terms of serving a number of times with especially these float serve. And here's another one to Maria. See if Maria comes back to the line. Sure enough.
Boom.
Say, if you're not going to block me there, I'm going to keep on pounding it there. What do you do about a player that does that?
Might have served the other player.
Yeah.
They're serving it a little bit easy to Maria, and if you give her an easy ball, you're going to be in trouble. Some really nice setting by Carolina as well. She's setting and turning and looking and giving a great call.
I met Carolina and her sister some 20, it's a long time ago, 1990s, when the first 1988, and they were just little babies on the beach, boy, and they were playing the game out there in Rio de Janeiro. These two are well-conditioned athletes, and they can play anywhere. Really a tough team, and there it is, Salgado taking the ball in the middle. What a great dig. Opportunity. Sure
Got it.
Enough. Gotta love that when you dig a ball and you're able to put that ball from the 10-foot line away.
Great low body control right there. He lifts that ball up high. I love that she waits till the setter sets so she can stay behind it and get a good look at the court.
At least we're thinking the same way. If you move up a little bit further, you're not going to be able to put that ball away. And points are scored in bunches, and here are the Florida girls of Sarah Schermerhorn and Kimberly Hildreth taking a bit of a lead, 9-7 in game or set one.
I think we could make the case that they have the good side right now. Kim is serving pretty much straight into the sun and the wind right now. Her ball should have a little action on it, should drop out of the sky pretty quick like that. Got Carol down to the ground, and in effect, an ace serve by Hildreth.
So where the receiving team was serving right there, that ball got served to the middle and never really made it to the left side player. That's where she had to grovel after that ball and miss past that ball. And here's another play. So obviously there is an effect from the ball from our perspective, from this side, the wind at our backs, which is a crosswind. So I would say the pressure would be on the Florida girls to the right sider and to the Brazilians on the left sider.
Yes,
as they
close side
stand
of the
right
screen.
now.
We just saw a great transition set all the way up from 30 feet off the net, held the blocker and got the high line shot. Hildreth sets the middle to the middle attacker. She's got some range, but Carolina dove both ways and read or guessed right on both.
I love the play of Maria Antonelli going and making the play off the block, and I'll get this one. Ball gets hit off here. Maria makes the play, then her partner stays at the net and just seals it, scores the point for the Brazilian duo. Again, the #1 team in the world in 2018 is this Brazilian team right here. Again, a lot of things were not on the line in 2018 because there's no points being awarded to move on to 2020 in Tokyo.
True. They'll probably want to get that award next year and in the Olympic year in 2020.
It would be a little bit more important.
1 point before the side switch, and they got Antonelli to miss that cross-court shot and take us to the first technical timeout.
That's a good blocking move by starting on her cross court and then trying to shut down the line and forcing her to do something that she doesn't want to do. And especially like we said, with the wind blowing outwards to there, the ball had to be cuffed back in and she makes the mistake. You know this coach, what's his name?
I was afraid you'd put me on the spot.
Come on.
I met him a long time ago, just once.
Good guy.
He used to coach the Norway teams years ago is when he first got his start, but
this guy's been all over the place. He's been with Qatar, I think he was coaching with, and he's always a gas. He loves the sport. He's attached himself to the sport. Look at him.
Yes.
He's got the diving person on the back.
We got to get his name. Somebody call in and remind us.
Yep.
Long-time coach, at least 8 to 9 years on the world tour with Norway, Azerbaijan, Qatar.
Yep.
But he is Brilliant, and he definitely has some connections to the South American players.
I love talking to that guy. Sorry, I forgot your name.
We'll come back to action here with the upstart Floridians, Schermerhorn and Hildreth. The early 3-point lead and a dig.
Little block in the net. just barely touches the net, gives the opportunity away. Brazilians score that point, trying to get back into this game down by 4, 9-11. Salgado back to serve from the left side. Look at how she approaches. It's a reverse score.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got Salgado up by 13-9.
Schermerhorn, the nice high line, flat over the block there. Another great set and call by Kim. Double checking the score for you right here. I'm not sure if we got it spot on. Antonelli on the right goes to her standard high line, picked up by Hildreth. Transition swing out of the middle, another score. I really like how aggressive and smart Kim is in transition.
Well, it's a very smart play, just as you say, hitting that ball down with a retreating defender. Very difficult ball to bring up. Salgado can't control the ball. Point goes to the Americans. And they're back-to-back serves into the middle. I love that serve to the right side or to the left of their body, because they're all. Yes.
Kyodai, that's our coach. He wants a little timeout. Talk to his Brazilian squad right now. They're not doing much wrong. The Floridian U.S. gals are just doing everything right now. They're serving to tough spots. They're creating bad passes, and each time they dig, they're converting.
Yes, and it's actually, this is a kind of you talk about upsets. Well, they were the 15th seed over the 18th seed, so I wouldn't really call it an upset, but maybe the other team was favored. And again, let's talk about the seeding in this tournament. It's been a little off, kind of funny, trying to figure out how you go and mesh everybody together internationally, domestically, and how you seed these tournaments, because obviously the players are coming from all around the world.
Yeah, combining the points on 4 or 5 different tours into one new tour, you're going to get some imbalanced numbers, if you will, but yeah, they did the best they could.
Yeah, they took points with the aspect of money made and all different types of aspects, so nothing ever came out perfect. But if you're going to win a tournament, you're going to win a tournament. You're going to be the best. You're going to be the best. And the Brazilians attacking from the right side here.
Little tight. That's going to be a touch block. Carol is going to get her chance in trans. Hildreth all over it again. How many digs does she have already? 15-10, and she must have 10 digs.
And she's just begging for that one back. She knew that she missed that one, boy. She was all over it. It was big-time momentum going in her way. Salgado and Antonelli down by 4, 11-15. Need to get on a bit of a run. Need to serve some tougher balls. And sure enough, they make the mistake. And I don't think that the Brazilians have recognized really where the wind patterns happened here, because I would be going to the left sider right here.
I agree.
And here we have the Americans serving the right sider just out long. So when one team misses a serve and then another team misses a serve, you just kind of scratching your head, just going, especially the way the point scoring is today. It's every point is so important.
Yeah.
Every serve, every reception.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right on the fact about the wind. It has been swirling and going a little bit back and forth. And so with this Mikasa ball that tends to float more than you even think, you can definitely serve some balls long. And as soon as you go long, you say, well, I got to lower it. And then you put one in the net. And you can get in a little bit of a funk trying to serve this ball tough in changing wind, unpredictable wind. Schermerhorn and Hildreth with a commanding 5-point lead, just taking it to the Brazilians right now. Another easy dig right in the middle of the court. Should be another point for the Floridians, and there it is. I'm going to say she has about 10 digs and has scored on 7 or 8 of those digs, Randy.
Kimberly has been so consistent, but you know what? I think anybody, my grandmother, could have gone and taken that play. Taken that ball out of the middle. That didn't go anywhere.
That was not her finest shot.
No, it wasn't. Salgado attacking from the left side. And
Stuffed.
Roofed. Just with the big girl, Sarah Schermerhorn.
Wow, we're going to get a quick look at this, Randy. You want to talk about the block? A little press?
It's all tight. It's just all, the ball's drifting inside, and she knows it, and she goes and basically just presses over and gets that point. But then there is the pet peeve of mine. You score a point, and all of a sudden you give one up. Yeah, you got to get that ball in the court.
Absolutely. They're going to go to Kim here on the right on 2 play by Schumann. Gets it back. Another really smart shot. These gals are pretty young, relatively speaking, out of their indoor careers 4 or 5 years ago. Sarah said she's getting married in about a month. She's 29 years old, and Kim is 27. Again, they don't have any World Tour experience and just a little bit of domestic AVP experience and played some NVLs, but they are really, really looking good so far today. Zero fear whatsoever, taking on the #1 team in the world.
Yeah, you got Sarah going and blocking right there, athletically turning around and popping that ball up. You know when a player is like that, you know that she's after it and she really wants to win this game. Right. That's a big move, even though that they didn't score.
Siding out for the game right here. Covers herself off the poke. Sarah with a nice high rip, and they take care of them, taking the Brazilians to the woodshed, 21-14.
I like it. I like it. I like it. Tough conditions out here. We've got that side wind right now, and I don't think either one of the teams really figured it out, except for the Florida girls just really converted a lot more balls than the Brazilians.
Yeah. Get another quick look at the side out here for set point. Kim takes a big look. You can see her taking a look twice. Tight set. She makes a smart play to control it, keep it on her side, and puts the ball away. We're going to get a baseline look, which is really nice. Block sets up well and presses, but just doesn't throw the ball down. There's Sarah in her comfortable position after playing middle blocker in the dead center of the court.
Good work, Emily. Not bad, John. Here you go right here. A rope and towel for your efforts. Let's give them a round of applause.
Taking a brief break here between sets 1 and 2. I'm Jeff Alzina along with Randy Stoklos.
Tell you, who's in the driver's seat right now?
Florida all the way.
It sure seems like USA is obviously taking a little control. Not so much, but they win the first game 21-14, and then they're up 1-0, putting a lot of pressure on the Brazilians. And let's see if they can gather their game. And this is a seasoned team right here. Don't think that they're just going to walk away or go away.
Really seasoned, Randy. You're absolutely right. Last year, this team, Antonelli and Salgado, took the title at The Hague, 2017. They won The Hague. This year they took a silver medal at The Hague as well, and second in the FIVB event in Huntington Beach. So they're one of the best teams in the world, if not ranked #1 right now, and they probably had a nice little meeting. Game 1 just said, okay, let's figure these guys out. What was working, what wasn't working, where's the wind, let's settle down. It's sometimes really tough to be the veteran team and play an upstart team you've never seen before. Someone coming off a great win in the morning, someone that you have no read on whatsoever. And Maria makes a nice transition play, maybe the first true defensive score they've had.
Jeff, I have to say that you're completely right. I obviously had that big target on my back for most of my career, being the #1 seed for almost 11 years and being the #1 team in the world for almost 11 years with St. John Smith. We obviously got off to a lot of slow starts, but we managed to go and gather a little momentum, which I expect the Brazilians to do. Salgado goes after that ball, and I gotta say, you gotta be rather lucky than good in some of those plays right there. She comes up and makes in a blocking motion with the ball about 3 feet off the net. She puts her hands up and swats that ball back for a big point, and as they go up 4-1 and they're trying to speed up the game.
There's a tough serve. Sarah in trouble. Snap to a dropping Salgado, who gets her chance up with a high line shot, picked up. Best rally of the set so far. Free ball deep to Antonelli. Oh, cagey dump by Salgado. When it rains, it pours, huh?
Unbelievable. What a sweet play by Salgado. She goes out to almost to the pin, thinking that she's going to bump the ball up and down. Blocker goes and stays there. There's two great plays by Maria Antonelli. The first was the set on the first play. The second was the pass the ball all the way to the net from that point, which gave the opportunity for Salgado to bump that ball up and over on a quick fake play to score on two.
The little things, huh, Randy?
Here's going to be a play out of the middle. Thought you should set your partner right there after the great move after it, and sure enough, they give it up. You'd be saying something to me if I shot that on two, wouldn't you?
Set me, partner.
Exactly. Go 1, 2, 3. There's no reason to go 1, 2 right there. So
after a smashing in the first set, 21-14, we've got a complete reversal already. 6-1. Salgado and Antonelli come out not only fired up emotionally, but as you said, speeding the game up and seeming to get every little break right now because they're hustling and playing high percentage volleyball.
Seems like that they're going at Kimberly Hildreth. And sure enough, they are. They're going to the right side. Let's see if this ball stays out on the pin. And sure enough, she can't go and hit that ball over the net. Hits it right into the bottom or the top of the tape for the Brazilians to go up 7-1.
So strange sometimes how you can play so well in one set and then just 5 minutes later, everything's different. She didn't swing at a ball at all like that in the first set. Now they've gone to what I call a somewhat desperation move with Hildreth moving over on the left right away early in the game. Just a few point lead and they're switching sides. Sometimes it works, but I've never been a huge fan of doing that right away.
No, I don't like it either. There's been a bunch of things that you can do, but at the same time, the Brazilians, the difference of this game versus the first set is that they're emotionally into it a little bit, and they're desperate. They're desperate. The Brazilians need to go and win this game to push it to a third, and they're just getting their engines going, and it seems like they're off and running. But there's a great block.
Wow.
Yep.
What a great dive. We might get another look at that. That's just
Sarah with a good point to try to get her team back into play. She goes and starts on the cross court. No, she reaches into the cross court and stuffs that ball.
I think what they ran there is what this younger generation loves calling a 4, and it's you line up as a line blocker and an angle digger, but right at the peak of the set, the defense switches. The blocker dives into the angle, and the digger runs line, and that's a good thing to do against Maria Antonelli.
Then Sinja and I did that all the time, number 4. What do you call that? That's called the number 1. On one, up and over. You rarely see that with a 2-man, 6-man, any kind of volleyball, but they weren't ready for it, and that's a cagey play by the.
That might get them going.
To go and shake them up a little bit here, but Salgado goes and gets to the cut shot and says, listen here, we're going to simmer things down, smooth things out. We're up 9-4, even though we got shot on one. Kind of embarrassing. Salgado back to serve.
Okay, nice little break for Kim and Sarah.
What do you think about that aspect of not so much the service out, but starting a little bit further back so that same serve can hit the line?
I think it's fantastic.
And I know that she's the blocker, so she's worried to get to the net. But Neil say, if you're putting in a tough serve, why don't you give yourself a little bit of more of an opportunity by stepping back? And here's a close set, and Maria just chops that ball cross court against the big block of Sarah Schermerhorn.
Well, you make a good point. The blocker does have to hustle all the way up to the net. But with all that wind at your back, sometimes it's great to use all that space behind and serve a longer ball.
There's a nice pass, nice set, little roll over the block. 1-2, and up and over Salgado. Great play by Maria, diving after that ball and picking that up with her her left hand.
Yeah. The difference this game is that in the last game she would have tried to set that and they would have maybe just rolled in a mediocre shot, but they're just thinking a little bit faster and ahead right now. They've gone over on 2 a couple times right away. I think they got woken up in that first game, right? They got woken up emotionally, and so they know that they have to bring their best out.
If you call it right, it is what it is. This team from Brazil, they were the #1 team in 2018 for a reason, and they're on a tear right now, up 12-5 5, and the timeout goes to Schermerhorn and Hildreth, down by 7.
Yeah, good timeout by the American girls. I'm not sure if they've brought a coach here. It appears that no one is in the box with them, so they're going to talk it out amongst themselves. But good idea to just try and slow it down before the technical timeout.
And it's Keto Day. I remember that guy. It's not Keto, it's Keto Day.
That's your guy in the box for
I love
Brazil.
That guy. He's just he really knows the game. He's been around it. He's been seeing it for such a long time. Look at him, just really telling him exactly how to get the momentum going and staying with that momentum.
Yeah, I think, like you said, this team, I don't know if they came out flat necessarily, but they probably just didn't know anything about their opponent. Having never played them before, never seen them on tour, on the world tour, sometimes you can get scouting reports not by just playing head-to-head, but kicking back after your game and watching the rest of the tour go by. But they didn't know anything about this team. And to the credit of the Americans, they came out very smooth and very confident and very aggressive. They're just getting knocked on their heels a little bit now with, as we said, the #1 team on the FIVB Tour right now, who has won several tournaments together and individually in their career.
Maria just serving a ball down the line as an ace, and then she serves the next one into the net. Big momentum for the Brazilians right now. I can remember St. John and I playing so many times where it'd be a fresh team that wouldn't, we would know nothing about it, and they'd get off to a lead, and then all of a sudden they would be ahead, and they would start to think.
Right.
Like, we're going to go and beat Smith and Stoklos.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, right when they started to do that, the game was over. So you might be seeing a little bit of that with this team, and what a great opportunity for the Florida girls against the Brazilians here. It's a match of a lifetime, but sure enough, they're thinking a little bit, and now they're in a tough situation because this seems like it's going to go 3. And there's Maria with a little choppy off the block. There's some expertise.
Little joust tool right there up close. Bringing us to the technical timeout here with a 9-point lead. The Brazilians have woken up. Salgado Antonelli 15-6. Going to our technical timeout here at the P1440 San Jose Invitational.
I gotta love that, the inspiration that Keto Day goes and gives his Brazilian players. It's amazing. He's relentless. Just there's never a break. He's always standing, trying to point to them, trying to get them fired up, trying to even get them. You beat him even more. You even hammer him even more. We want to beat this team 21-6 and move on to the 3rd game. Inspirational.
Absolutely. You look at the other side. This team not having a coach at their disposal this weekend here, and so they've had to just kind of kick back and relax a little bit and breathe and say, what kind of buzzsaw did we walk into here?
Advantage, disadvantage, having a coach or not?
Well, I think that's a good question. The coach, yeah, once you become really, really established, you can get away leading yourselves the way Sinjin and yourself used to. If you've got a long-term partnership and you've learned how to win, you know yourselves pretty well. You know your game and your strengths pretty well and your weaknesses. And you've developed a relationship that can allow you to talk to each other in a objective fashion where people don't get their feelings hurt when you're telling them, hey, dude, you're just not siding out. What do you need? Speak up. But I think, until you get to that point, there's a huge advantage in having a third voice in the box at the timeouts, helping point out some of the simplest things in the world as well as some of the complex things. I mean, sometimes you just need a pep talk, like you said. The Brazilian coach here, who knows if he's talking any strategy or not? He could be, but he could just be pumping them up like, hey, let's wake up. We're #1. Let's go. Sometimes you just need some really basic emotional fire as well as some really deep technical and tactical information.
Yeah, for me, that other set of eyes is just another advantage for your team because there's information coming to you that you can take and use into your advantage. As the Florida team of Sarah Schermerhorn and Kimberly Hildreth try to make a comeback at down 8 points, 8-16. And the Brazilians attacking from the left side, a little cover almost on the ground. Here's an opportunity coming from the right side. Good ball control.
Really good.
And here's a little shot over the block, a big pokey rainbow. Nobody wants to get to the ball. Isn't that amazing to me in beach volleyball, how nobody, when that ball goes up, and over that nobody turns around and goes and gets that ball. It's amazing. They're just
That's
like,
surprising.
Their feet are in cement.
And it's not a physical thing. We know that they're fast players, and we're talking about everybody here, but sometimes mentally you're just beat already.
Yeah.
And you don't go.
Yeah.
Nice shot by Carolina, though. She's really mastered the poke throughout her career.
And I like that move. I have to say, you need to have that pokey, the ball that comes off of your knuckles, that you have a little bit better ball control by moving it around. There's so many things that you can do just with an open hand in regards to shooting the ball over the block or cutting the ball. But if you can kind of go and use and bend your wrist around, it's at an advantage for you. You must have it in your game.
Agreed. We see another ace serve, this time by Carolina, and they have definitely ramped up their serving. The Brazilians have figured out the wind. They figured out the trajectory they need to serve it on, and they are just blasting floaters sideline to sideline. And another hitting error forced by a bad pass off the tough serve. To me, that is the biggest change so far. Is you saw pretty much all perfect passes, perfect digs by the Americans in set one, and Brazil has really applied the offensive pressure in game two. We've got a giant switch, 20-8. The Brazilians bounce back enormously in set two and serve a trickler ace. I
call that the gold medal serve.
The
gold medal serve.
Pray
Everybody
for that
just
not to
really hates to see that, but if you're on the serving team, you love to see it.
All right, we've had an up and a down, and we've had a hot and a cold team flip-flopped in first and second set. We're going to take a short break and come right back to the San Jose p1440 in just a minute for set number 3. And we're back. I'm Jeff Alzina, 2004 Olympian, along with Randy Stoklos, absolute volleyball legend. How many wins, Randy? How many total wins in your career?
I had 123 open wins. I won 115 with St. John Smith. We won 5 world championships, and
pretty good.
I don't want to keep on.
And an ace serve in set number 3 to kick off a 2-0 lead by Kim Hildreth.
As I was going to ask you, they just got beat hard on the second match, this second set, and now we're into the third. What do the Americans have to do against the Brazilians to pull this one off?
Well, I think they're a really good scoring team. Sarah is a fantastic blocker, and Kim's got a nice serve, really good controlled dig. They need to side out, and they had a lot of trouble passing last game. So I think the sun is actually now starting to come to play, Randy. I think the Brazilians are looking dead square into the sun. And they got most of the ace serves from either team came into this side to our left here where they're looking deadly into the sun. So if USA can pass the ball, I think they're going to score enough to have a good chance here.
There's Kimberly missing that dig on the right side. For me, why don't the players start more at the line and start from the line and move into the court?
Outside
so that
in,
ball, yeah, it just indoors and outdoors, why don't more players kind of work that way?
Gosh, indoor is a different story, but I think on the beach, you see people, I think you're totally right. They like to line up in the pocket, the medium angle, and then they cheat to the center of the court. I just think they're worried about the ball being hit in the center or having to run to the high line. But I've always liked an outside-in setup as well, as you're saying, starting wide on defense. Carolina with a beautiful out-of-system, high back set to go high line.
Jeff, here's one for you that I broke out earlier in the matches. We're in the third one. I've been statting this situation. The team that gets to 5 first wins 80% of the time. And if you understand that and see that and look back at all scores, it's a pretty incredible factor. So here's the opportunity for the Americans to go and get 5, and they don't. So here's the 3-4. So now.
Nice block by Carolina. We're going to take another quick look at this.
It's a good swing. She kind of just doesn't get to the ball quick enough, and the ball's blowing inside, so she gets in. Everybody realizes that, and the blocker takes away that cross court. Again, here's another opportunity for 5.
Chance for 5.
The ball
they go to Sarah.
And there you have it.
What are you willing to put on it?
Well, I don't want to put anything on it, but what I'll tell you is that out of 10 games, you're going to win 8 of them. Do you like that percentage or not?
Boy, those are good odds. I'll take those anywhere.
Exactly. So this is an uphill battle for the Brazilians, and watch this game get close. Okay.
Short left to Carol. She goes high line.
So Salgado takes the ball off the left side, gets a shot up and over. What makes that all happen is she approaches the ball very strongly, looking like she's going to hit the ball, and then she turns that ball down the line.
Absolutely.
Where the defender is kind of stuck in that cross court.
The speed of her approach holds Kim still on that angle. Here's a line-to-line serve that we've seen right into the sun. Kim gets a pretty tight set, goes up and plays it a second time off the block.
And it's just actually a big break where that ball gets hung up on the net, gives the offensive team to go, and here it is. The ball gets jousted at the net, but it hangs up on top of the tape. Gives her a couple seconds. She pops it up, throws it to the middle. Big girl comes in and says, give it to me, I'll put that ball away. The Americans go up 6-4 in the deciding third and final set.
Maria's doing a great job of seeing the court. As you said, she's coming in really strong. She's got a nice speed to her approach, takes a look, and that's what's allowing her to make some very simple shots into the open court and score, keeping this game just a 1-point deficit, 5-6. Kim with a nice soft pass on the right. A little tight and gets stuffed by Carolina, making that nice move into the seam again.
You know what's really incredible about my statistic? You can watch this game go back as we look at the replay. Nice pass to the right side. She kind of stays in too far. She doesn't allow herself to go and get outside and create some other different angles, and she gets blocked right there and ties up the score right now. And it gets thrown back again. Points are always scored in bunches.
Yes. That's a nice 3-point run right there.
As the Brazilians go up 7-6. And there's that 20% chance to come back and win.
I think the wind is at the back of the American players here in yellow on the right side of your screen. So some of these sets are drifting tight like that from off to on, and that is 3 stuff blocks in a row. Just after I was thinking, hey, Kim won that joust a minute ago. She hasn't lost a joust yet, but when she's challenged the block, she's lost 3 in a row currently. A 4-point run for the Brazilians.
Should be enough to kind of hold them off and win this game, because if you make a run like that, boy, it's hard to go and do it the same way back the other way. And here's another opportunity for Maria on the right side, getting a set to the middle of the court. Here's another bumping on 2. I don't think so. This is the big boy or big girls game. So let's try to shoot it on 1. What's going on here? I think that those are 2 huge mistakes. In fact, my percentages have been thrown out the door.
Wow, yeah, wheels coming off here with 3 blocks in a row, and then a little bit of anxiety maybe in those transition plays there, trying to go over on 1, then go over on 2, and they haven't really needed that.
There's Kid O'Day again cheering on his team. I'd have to say, anybody come out of the stands and get on to be a coach for the Americans and maybe say something positive to them, because shooting on 2 and shooting on 1 is not the way you're going to go and win an extremely big game, and one of the ones that you feel like you should have won. And then in the driver's seat almost the entire way. And now, like you say, wheels are not off.
At least one wheel is off.
No, it's just they're just flat a little bit. They're just losing a little bit of air, okay? And let's see if they can gain some momentum, because I've seen this over and over again, and that's why I call it the way it is with the percentages. And don't be surprised after it's all said and done that the Americans come back and win this game. But they're down by 3, so my percentages are very much against me. And it looks like that they're going to be a 20% winner on the Brazilian side. But again,
the statistic that I'd like to see is so far in set number 2 and number 3, how many points have been scored on this left side of your screen where the Americans are. It seems to be a vast majority of the points are being scored from here.
I like it.
Wind in the face, you can hit it a little bit harder like that. I don't think you can make that swing from the right side of the court. The right side, that is going to go downwind and long. So
yeah,
we'll see if they can make a little run. As Stokey said,
yeah,
the wheels are not off. They're just a little flat. 7-9. Kim back to serve. Oh, for short serve, really short.
And there's a one-handed bandit. Gets the ball up and scores on the point. The Americans scored, coming back 8-9. What a great play. Even a better hit with a kind of an offset. But the blocker got in a very no man's land and couldn't come back and play defense all that well. Point goes to the Americans.
That's the kind of play they made a lot in the first set. See if they can go back to back. Oh, what a swing. Another transition set all the way off the net.
Talk about athletic. Wow, that was a sweet hit by Salgado from Brazil.
That was gnarly.
Hitting that ball cross court. Look at the physique on her. Boy, she is incredible. And I have to say, what an athlete. She's been around. Her whole family's been around. Her brother is Pedro, and she's back to serve against the Americans down by 2. They go on 2. Very smart play to go and bring the Americans back 9-10.
Sarah's been really good at that. Kim probably recognizes that the blocker for Brazil is serving and needs to run 35 feet to get to the net. And so Kim takes that serve and puts it up on 2 every time as an option when Carol's serving. So they run the on 2 when the blocker serves very, very often. And as we said, they definitely won the side, right? The Americans won the good side again. Now, to pull this off and keep Randy's stats intact, they're going to have to score at least 2, arguably 3 from this bad side out of 5.
Well, and if you're calling this side the better side, well, my stats are going to look good. The Americans up by 2 points. Maria back to serve, going to the right sider. Gets a close set, joust at the net. Point goes to Salgado at the block at the net. Number 1, Maria back to serve, tightening this game.
They got the spread now, the 3-point lead. That's pretty dangerous in the 3rd set. There's the pass they're looking for. She tucks inside, a la Todd Rogers, goes baby cut.
Yeah, it's funny how everybody relates to Todd Rogers, American Olympic gold medalist with Phil Dalhausser, and we're talking about the approach where the player passes the ball from the right side and then steps to the inside, which opens up the line hit and then the chop across court. And there's a serve out long by the Americans, and sure enough, you just can't do that at this level.
That's a stinger, yeah. They can't give up any free ones right now. Brings us to 10-13. Only 2 more for Carolina Salgado and Maria Antonelli. Great serve, pulled him off the net. Gonna get a free ball here. Maria on her non-dominant side, the left. And she still goes wrist away. She loves that thumb down shot, and that's gonna bring them to game and match point. Salgado Antonelli, the #1 team in the world from Brazil, here with us at p1440. San Jose Invitational, match point #1 against the upstart David versus Goliath from Florida. They got a nice break there. The Americans get a missed serve, and it should be 11-14 now if the score's right, and they go to the good scoring side, right, Randy?
Well, they go to the good scoring side, but that's another pet peeve of mine that I heard from the legend Ron Von Hagen. When you get to point game, get the ball in the court. That could cost you. Down by 3, 11-14.
They go to Maria.
That's
going to do it. That's a beautiful set. Again, the Brazilians did a great job setting each other out of trouble, don't you think? If the pass was off the net, they got it up there and made a hittable ball every time. Nice showing by the Floridian girls here from the USA in their first 1440 pro event out here on the West Coast. Schermerhorn and Hildreth made a very, very nice showing. After getting an upset in the first round, they take the #1 team in the world to 3 sets.
And I believe we're going to have a men's match.
Stay tuned here for a moment. We're going to show you a very key moment in the match where right after Kim Hildreth won a joust, she got blocked 3 times in a row. That one was a tight set, and she swung anyway. This one was also in the middle of the court off a shot, and Salgado just waits and swats. And Randy, you got this one.
just waits, jumps into the cross court, shuts it down. That was actually the difference of the whole game right there, those 3 dominant blocks, and she just turned up the heat on the Americans, and there just was just a difficult road for them to come back. Really good game for Schermerhorn and Hildreth, but the Brazilians win today in Salgado, and we'll be back with more for P1440 in San Jose. We'll be back.
Stay tuned.